don't know how to start this because I'm assuming most people that watch this will not be fish geeks, but hopefully some of you are. Sorry about the noise in the background. Hopefully my dogs will be calm, which I doubt. One of them's staring at a squirrel right now, so I don't know how long before I have to stop this video and start back. But today is Mental Health Awareness Day, and with the theme of my channel being aquarium therapy, DBT, things like that, and just whatever I decide it needs to be now, I thought it would be apropos to put up a video today. We all know how my follow through is. My intentions are extremely pure. My follow through is pure crap. And that kind of ties into what I want to talk about in this video, my own personal experience with being mentally ill and also chronically physically ill. But I'm not going to talk as much about the physical illness as I am the mental illness parts, but let's go ahead and jump into it. My diagnoses, I have another video talking about a little bit when I was having a rough day, which I've had a lot of. I recorded some. My dog's on the couch. But they're still in the to be edited folder, or afterwards I was like, oh, nobody really wants to hear that. But I'm hoping like crazy that I finish this video today and I edit it and I put it up. So as far as mental health goes, I have PTSD, which my therapist has talked to me about it being complex PTSD. We've discussed that quite a bit. I also have borderline personality disorder, which I'm kind of scared to say online because we get such a bad rap. And I also have major depressive disorder with the specifier anxious distress. That's my official diagnosis. I deal with a lot on a daily basis, just trying to keep myself calm. Through years of therapy and just mindfulness techniques, I just glanced at my fish tanks when I said that. Mindfulness has really helped me more, or so far it's helped me a lot. And having labels actually has helped me as well. When my brain starts to backfire on me and do its own thing, I'm like, I can realize, oh, this is PTSD. This is a borderline reaction. That has helped me to kind of gain control over it a little bit. I'm still working on a name for them because I feel like I want to name my depression and my BPD and my PTSD. I like doing weird stuff like that. They kind of all work together against me, or I guess they don't work together. My PTSD diagnosis comes from lots of things, and the reason that we're sure it's the complex PTSD is my traumas started happening when I was very, very, very young, and just different things through life. That's also probably where my borderline personality disorder developed, because I wasn't old enough. My brain wasn't old enough to just handle that, and it broke me a bit. And then as I got a little bit older into my childhood, some more traumatic events would happen. And when I was 10, things started repeatedly happening. And then when I was 12, that escalated up until I was in my mid to late teens. And I don't want to go into too much detail because maybe my daughters may be watching this, but there was a lot of horrific things happened. And when I was 14, my grandmother, whom I was extremely close to, she died by suicide. And that happened right in the midst of some of the worst hell I was going through. That impacted my brain, my 14-year-old brain, in a major way. It put that in my head as an option, even though it's not, and I didn't have the correct support around me to not go down that rabbit hole, and I didn't have any outlets, and I was being severely abused at the same time. So, well, I started self-harming when I was 12, but when I was 14, I really went into gear. I'm not going to get into all of my story right now, just kind of a little bit of backstories. I know I'm going to forget some stuff. I always do. I'm afraid that if I try to include something else in it after the fact, that it's going to take me another month to edit and put up. So that's not happening today. You can see my brain going 100 miles an hour. But fast forward to a few more years, in my early 20s, I watched my neighbor burn in his house, and he died. And I kind of lost my mind for a little while after that. And another traumatic event happened to me in that same time frame. I don't, like I said, I want to save some details because I know my daughters. Then when I was 24, my son was stillborn, and that just changed everything. There's a before and an after on so many events in my life, and that's the biggest divide right there. A year later, I had my daughter, and I got very sick. I was going through postpartum depression. I was having so many physical and mental issues, and my ex-husband and I split up and went through custody issues, to put it mildly, with her, and that sent me into a horrible downward spiral. And I spent the next couple of years trying to come back from that. 2009, something else happened. I was assaulted, and like I said, I'm trying to be kind of censored a little bit for the little ears. That was another game changer. And as far as BPD goes, I know that it impacts my relationships. I'm aware of a lot of the things that it impacts. But one thing that I do not have is, well, it used to be worse, but I've worked on my impulse control and things like that. I don't just blatantly, suddenly get vicious with people. I can turn very fast, but I don't get mean and hateful and destructive with other people. I tend to turn my destruction toward myself. That's one of the things, whether that's a physical harm or destroying something that I love, I turn the destruction inward. Personally, my impulse control has become stronger due to my kids and my need to be here, and my desire to be okay. I do have impulsive thoughts, but I think those through, and I always see the bigger picture and how it's going to affect so and so, and who it's going to affect and how, and that really helps me calm my shit down. The major depressive disorder, I just kind of, it's always it's always there to a point. And the PTSD, they're all always there. I'm sorry this is jumbly, but this is kind of how it is. That fight or flight is always on in me. If you walk up behind me or just kind of come in on my space, I don't cope well with that. I will go straight into a panic attack, and I don't like to be cornered. I don't like to be sitting anywhere. It's kind of weird. This is where my BPD and my borderline kind of cross paths. I don't like to be in the corner of something without being able to get out, but I don't like to be exposed. I don't want to be on the end seat, but I don't want to be against the wall trapped either. My brain is all over the place. I don't do well on social media. I hate Facebook because it stresses me out so bad. Politics, everything. I miss everybody. I love everybody. But that's a self-care thing, is not a lot of social media. I wanted to add something. I know the quality is weird and the sound is too. While I'm thinking about it, Another another problem I have is I very rarely ever leave my house. I mean, I leave it, but I rarely ever go anywhere. It overwhelms me extremely bad. And being out in public with all the people and just the scariness that they could do, I don't trust people. I get very scared and I get very stressed out and I'm in pain and it's just a big old mess. And so I don't go out very often. I love me some Amazon. Yeah, I want to go places, but I make it hell on myself. And it's not fun. I want to do better. I want to experience more things and I want to live my life, and I want to have a better quality of life. Alright, so thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you soon. Mwah.